live podcast. My name is Adewale Agboke Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. I'm excited, back on the grind, back on the groove again. I know it's late, but hey, the grind must always continue, man. So today's episode, man, going to focus on an amazing set of characters because it's podcast day. Defenders of the Earth, one of the best cartoons from the 1980s you've ever seen. There was a lot of cartoons from the 1980s. This is probably one of the best ones that I've seen from the 1980s. I know there are people that think that 1980s probably had the best set of cartoons. You wouldn't be wrong if you said that, but I also think 1990s, I don't want to call it a tie. I'm more leaning towards 1990s, but 1980s had a bunch of very super cool cartoons. So Defenders of Earth was one of them. You know what I'm saying? Before we get into this podcast, this amazing episode, let's thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion accessories from the motherland. That's right. So if you love African attire, if you love African accessories, African wear, you want to go to homelandfashions.com. The website is currently under construction. It will be available soon. The owner, Tracy, CEO, Tracy Agboke, one of the best CEOs out there in the universe and the galaxy, definitely has an amazing thing going. And anything African in general, man, is generally always so beautiful. I'm tired of wear. I'm into wearing the gear like that. So you see me wear it on various episodes. So, wearing African wear. If you love that, look, you got to visit homelandfashions.com. So homelandfashions.com. That's homelandfashions.com. So Homeland Fashions, this logo right here, as you can see, the logo even looks like a gilly. You know what I mean? So homelandfashions.com, y'all. Visit soundvision.com, homelandfashions.com. And this podcast also brought to you by Tigler. If you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians and everything in between, search Tigler. Don't wait. That's Tigler.com, y'all. That's Tigler.com. Don't wait. That's Tigler.com. Tigler is operated and owned by one of the best CEOs out there in the galaxy, Adetayo Agboke. You know what I'm saying? He's running an amazing program, and the platform Tigler allows you to find professionals, the best professionals for anything that you might be looking for: contractors, construction workers, landscapers, caregivers, civil engineers, nurses, you name it. There's nothing on there that isn't feasibly found. Plumbers, you can get on there. So Tigler.com, if you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians and in between, that's Tigler.com. Don't wait, that's Tigler.com. You know what I'm saying? And also too, this podcast also brought to you by Anadel for the Knuckle. Don't live for foot pain, like Anadel for the Knuckle. Make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. As I stated, look, AnadelCenter.com logo, I got to show it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anadel Center right there, man. This company is owned and operated by one of the best foot specialists out there in the galaxy. The best foot specialists out there in the galaxy, Dr. Sanusi. He's running an amazing platform, and that foot specialist is also the same person who designed me these custom orthotics that I put now in every pair of batas that I wear. So every time I put on a pair of my sneakers, I got these custom orthotics in there. And he's located in 2 locations, in the Dallas, Texas area and the Frisco, Texas area. So if you have foot pain, you need to get rid of the foot pain, you need to go see Dr. Sanusi. And also you can catch his YouTube videos, the streams, the shorts on his channel on Facebook if you're not already following them on Anadel. And also too, I don't want to forget, Tigler is located in 2 locations, Los Angeles area and also in the East Coast area, Virginia area. So please check them out. Tigler.com. So yo, that's our introduction. That's our sponsor right there, man. Now let's get into this amazing episode. Look, I'm excited because I want to talk about Defenders of the Earth, one of the best cartoons like you've ever watched, you've ever seen. It's the coolest, one of the coolest things I've ever seen anyway. I'm gonna keep it. It's gonna be short and sweet, and trust me, I'm not gonna delay. I'm just gonna get into it like I used to watch it when I was a kid. Defenders of the Earth, origins, the history, the things I'm gonna talk about anyway. The origins, the history, the characters, animation. Of course, getting your mind right, and then of course, final thoughts. So before we begin to origins, look, this is an entire DVD set. Literally the whole series, the complete series is in here. Volume 1, Volume 2. This is the old school DVD, man. Yes, I know people don't do DVDs anymore, but I'm a collector. Man, I had to go collect on this thing, man. Are you kidding me? This is something my family bought me for Christmas about 10 years ago, man. So I've had these for a while, man. Don't worry, I'm gonna break these DVD sets down, but it's just to have them, to see them, makes me reminisce on how cool this cartoon was. So let's start off with Defenders of the Earth, man. Defenders of the Earth was a cartoon that came around in the early 1980s, 1986 actually. It went for 1 season, 65 amazing episodes. Like I say again, man, they used to have all kinds of crazy time. I don't know how they man, 65 episodes, that's like 10 seasons nowadays, man. And so the characters were created. The cartoon, I first caught a glimpse of it on Cartoon, just like any other cartoon that I usually normally watch. I caught a glimpse of it. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. It's in outer space. It's cartoon characters. So you have Flash Gordon, Phantom, Lothar, Mandrake, Rick, LJ, Kashin, Jeddah, and Kisa. And of course, the villainous villain they were fighting was Ming the Merciless. And Rick, the cartoon itself was based in space, and basically, Defenders of Earth was a collection of superheroes or heroes that came together to defend the Earth from Ming the Merciless, who wants to take over the galaxy, take over the universe. And so, basically, it's an animated series that was produced from 1986. It featured 3 comic strips distributed by King Feature Syndicate, Flash Gordon, the Phantom, Magic, and Magician. And then Magic's assistant, Lothar, opposing Ming the Merciless. So Lothar was just an assistant to Magic, but that also tells you the times that this cartoon was created in the 1980s, which is an array of ignorance. That's where I'm gonna really put it, because I can't be bothered to waste my energy talking about how ignorant the cartoon was back in its time. But it was one ignorant cartoon in many ways. They never really let Lothar be the character he should have been. But you're talking when you have a production team of only Caucasians, only white people, you're gonna have some ignorant stuff getting done, man. And none of them actually look and just say, what we're doing over here is kind of racist, But it's a cartoon that was still enjoyable. But those cartoons, you can't give credit to any of these companies out here. DC, Marvel, none of them. They don't deserve credit for being diverse because they're not diverse. They just do things that puts more money in their pockets. They like, well, if we draw only white people, we only make this much money. If we draw other characters, we can make more money like this. You know what I mean? So don't give them credit. So that's the origins of Defenders of the Earth. It came around actually subsequently enough. Flash Gordon has been seen in 2, and I guess the whole thing started after they did Flash Gordon animated series, which went from 1979 to 82, and then again in 1996 to 1997. But the cartoon itself went 65 episodes. It was a short-lived comic book series published by Star Comics. The comic books weren't even worth talking about because it didn't last that long. And the closing credits, Rob Walsh and Tony Pastor from the main title music, and Stan Lee for the lyrics. Yeah, Stan Lee wrote the lyrics, which is crazy. The series later aired in reruns on Sci-Fi Channel as part of the animation block Cartoon Quest. It didn't last that long, but it was still a great cartoon, man. So that's the origins of Defenders of the Earth. It was a cartoon that I watched as a kid growing up. I used to be like, okay, this is the jump off right there, man. It was interesting. So then which pushes us off to the history. The history of the cartoon, like I said, it went 1 season. A lot of cartoons back then, they were going for long periods of time. And so you had 65 episodes of total awesomeness. And you had a cartoon that was like, I don't remember seeing a cartoon that was like it before. The only thing I can think of it that was anything like it was G-Force, a cartoon that was from the 1980s as well. Or was it the late 70s into the 80s? But space cartoon. And there was a emphasis on space cartoons back then, because you had Brave Star, Defenders of the Earth, Silver Ox. It seems like everything was in space and some kind of other dimension that ain't nobody ever heard of. But the Earth, Defenders of the Earth was actually literally in space, but their main base was Monitor, protecting based on Earth. And then they would just be all over the planet, defending the universe from different parts of the galaxies they would go to. So as the seasons went, as the episodes went, it was all over. It was released in places, United States, Germany, Australia, UK, and Sweden. It's crazy, but it actually had video games, action figures, and the action figures is what started it. The action figures is what actually started to turn it into a cartoon, so that was pretty interesting. I don't know, man. Cartoons, like a lot of 1980s cartoon, it's probably also too, though, to be frank with y'all, Defenders of Earth, I don't think have seen the light of day since 1997. Those who know about Defenders of Earth are really just cartoon heads like myself, who always dip and dab in all kinds of cartoons. Because this cartoon also came around the same era when Thundercats was there, Silverhawks, Brave Star, but it hasn't got no kind of shine at all. I don't want to say it's got a bad history. I just don't want to say that it hasn't really migrated through time like that, in terms of like it being a good cartoon, in terms of it being a cartoon that could be like, damn, we've seen it all the time. It's went through all the eras. It's not something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Avengers or something like that. It was just an era cartoon, and that's okay too. It's great to be in your era. It was an era. It was one season. A lot of cartoons back then were one season, which is really shocking. But it was a great cartoon. It's actually, the company network. The network they created was syndication, and then it was a production of Marvel Comics, which was even more shocking. Which I'm still tripping about right now. It's a production of Marvel Comics, and then of course the episodes were written by Bryce Malek and Dick Robbins, and it was directed by Will Migros, John Rubbs, and Ray Lee. And then of course, well, you already know all the characters, so that's like basically the history of Defenders of the Earth. It was, man. Basically, the whole thing started with basically all jumped off when Flash Gordon escaped from Ming the Merciless, who has exhausted the natural resources of his home world, Mongo, and desires to exploit Earth, basically. And then so Flash Gordon and the rest of the other Defenders of the Earth, Lothar, Mandrake, Phantom, and their children defend Earth from Ming the Merciless stealing all their resources. Ming tries to brainwash Flash's wife, Dale Aiden, but let me see. And Flash's wife, Dale Aiden, but she resists until death, where after her psychic is later introduced into Defender's supercomputer Dynac X to protect the Earth from Ming's invasion, among other threats. Flash joined forces with Mandrake, his assistant Lothar, and the Phantom alongside their children to form the Defenders. So that's basically how the history of Defenders of Earth came about. They just needed to defend the Earth. And notice how they keep saying Flash, Mandrake's assistants. Really some ignorant crap. I don't give a damn. He wasn't no assistant to me, man. It was just always the type of nonsense that the cartoon was watching back then. But you really can't get infuriated when you talk about it, man. So, yo, that's history right there. Now, this next part is the characters themselves. The characters themselves, man, had a bunch of characters. And I'm gonna point them out to you so you can actually see it. So look, Flash Gordon, Phantom, Lothar, Mandrake, Rick, Kushin, LJ, and Jeddah. You know what I'm saying? So that was Defenders of the Earth. And then of course, you got Ming the Merciless. One is lead Icebot, Ming the Merciless's son. You know what I'm saying? And then Octon, I think, is the robot right there. I'm starting to get my brain starting to charge up again. You know what I'm saying? But it was off the chain, man. Straight up off the chain. Now let's go to starting off with the first character, Flash Gordon, who was voiced by Lou Richards, leader of the Defenders of the Earth, a space pilot and father of Rick Gordon. He's, of course, you know Phantom. He's done movies. They've done like cartoon series. It got a little bit of a comic, but Flash Gordon was really the draw in terms of the cartoon series itself. So he was really the main figurine that really pushed the thing out. You know what I'm saying? So this is Flash Gordon right here. For all you don't know, Flash Gordon right there. Oh, and then the Phantom. Don't worry, we're gonna get to the Phantom. Look, let me let y'all see it. That's Flash Gordon right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's Flash Gordon right there. It was a cool cartoon. Then next up is Phantom. And this happens, now this is important because you need to be specific about which Phantom this is. This is Kit Walker, the 24th Phantom. Because there's, the 27th Phantom, sorry. There's the 27th Phantom. So the Phantom, right, was basically, how can I say this nicely? Was a character that came from Africa. So a white guy comes from Africa. And he's over there defending the Earth. That's always hilarious. It was voiced by Peter Mark Reichman, essentially identical to Lee Falk's character, but differing from the original in that by chanting by jungle laws, the ghost who walks calls forth the power of 10 tigers. He momentarily receives superhuman strength. His real name is Kit Walker. His horse Hero and Wolf Devil make brief appearances. The end credits describe Phantom by saying this is the 27th Phantom, which is what it was. Phantom had a ring too. He would flash it, and his daughter Jeddah, which I'm going to talk about later, was one of the main characters as well. So this is Phantom right here. Phantom right there. And then let's go. Look, I'm going to show you on my screen too, so y'all can see it. Phantom right there. Let me flip the camera so y'all can see it. That's Phantom right there. Y'all see it? Yes, sir. That's the Phantom right there, man. So now, next up is Magic the Magician. Magic was the magician of the whole team. He could do all kinds of magic tricks, man. This is Magic right here. This is Magic right there. Magic the Magician. I told you I was gonna keep it simple with this one. Magic the Magician. Magic Magician. He was voiced by Peter Renaday, a hypnotist and mystic capable of manipulating others' perceptions almost at will. He's often portrayed as a secondary leader of the defenders and sometimes the narrator of decisions. He was like a magician. He had his son was Kishin, which I'm gonna get into later. But Magic was like a magician. He could really create illusions. I can't tell you how many times he messed up. He messed over Ming the Merciless. He would create something and then Ming would be like, "Oh no, this is just an illusion." So it was like really very man, what's the word I'm looking for here? Very, very, very like he would mess up a lot of stuff for Ming the Merciless. I mean, just like Flash Gordon was a great pilot. You know how many ice robots Flash Gordon took out? Or Phantom, how many times he would use the jungle powers, strength of 10 tigers, and destroy like robots, man. They ruined a lot of day for Ming the Merciless, boy. And then, of course, you got Lothar, voiced by Buster Jones. So, you know, Lothar was an engineer on the team, the strong guy on the team, the tactician. He would come up with different fighting tacticians for them to fight. Powerful fighter, mechanic, also engineer to be not even like an inventor. He could invent things engineer-wise. They could do. Back Lothar, as much as they try to belittle him in the cartoon, which they did, he was from the Caribbean, and he really had I would say it was the first time I had seen an African descendant character on a cartoon, because you wasn't seeing anything, man. And so yes, we knew about Black Panther, but like this was actually a cartoon character that was actually human, a part of a team. I mean, they try to make him like call him Magic's assistant, but I ain't going for that crap. Heck no. If you ever watched Defenders of the Earth, which is available on the cartoon, on maybe YouTube, you might be able to find it. Defenders of Earth is one of these rare cartoons, and I know when I do episodes like this, people are like, I don't know anything about this. That's the problem with a lot of people. A lot of y'all don't watch cartoons like me. I watch. As you can see, I got the DVD collection. Like, I'm not messing around. I got this for Christmas, man. I've had this for almost 12 years now, man. Probably one of the greatest gifts I've ever gotten. This and Thundercats. I got the entire DVD set. So, Defenders of the Earth was one of those cartoons like that. So Ming the Merciless. So Lothar was the engineer on the team. He was the strong guy on the team. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. But hey Sherry, how you doing, girl? Welcome to the chat. I'm over here I don't look at my talking chat box anymore because it distracts me. But hey, thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate you. You can't believe you're still awake. But hey, thanks for joining me. Thanks for growing the channel. I didn't even thank y'all for doing that. You know what I mean? But yo, thank you, Sherry, for joining. Appreciate you joining me. The channel has grown exponentially, as you can see. So I'm really starting to do some magical things with this cartoon. So I'm very, 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 very grateful. So thank you for being part of the chat. Yeah, but that's Lothar. And then let's move on to the kids, right? So Sherry, I'm talking about a cartoon called Defenders of the Earth. You might know about it, you might not. I don't know. It's one of these cool cartoons from the 1980s. So then you've got Rick Gordon, Flash Gordon's son, who's actually a intellectual genius, who's a computer genius. He's the son of Flash Gordon. You got LJ. So Rick Gordon was voiced by Leron Lester, who's also the voice, I think, of Robin back in the day. I think Richard is implicit in computer. He's a computer genius, along with many other teenagers of the show. Attended Central High, and Rick Gordon was initially intended to be Kit Walker, the son of the Phantom, but that didn't happen. So then you've got LJ, who's the son of Lothar, voiced by Dion Williams, short for Lothar Jr. He's a master karate. He's a master martial artist. He's actually very disciplined, very organized by himself, very going about his business, taking care of business, as I like to say. He does some amazing things, and so he's not really what's this word I'm looking for? He's not really just like his father Lothar. They try to push him out, and please, all of y'all joining, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. I'd greatly appreciate that. Takes as many likes as we can get around up in here in these parts. You know what I mean? But LJ was Lothar's son. He actually is a great martial artist. Man, that dude be kicking butt, man. I mean, there's no form of martial arts discipline he didn't know. Karate, taekwondo, jiu-jitsu. So look, let me break the kids down to you. That's Rick. That's LJ. Excuse me. That's Rick. That's LJ. That's Jeddah. That's Kashin. So, you know what I'm saying? So now let's look. So Rick is Flash Gordon's son. LJ is Lothar's son, which I just talked about. But I'll talk about Jeddah next, who is Phantom's daughter. You know what I'm saying? So Jeddah Walker, voiced by Sarah Partridge. Jeddah is the daughter of the Phantom and displays telepathy and limited extraordinary powers, usually expressed by communication with her Black Panther Kisa. There is a little or no mention of her mother, though in one episode she is reluctant. She is the reluctant stepdaughter of Queen Heather. Some installments imply a relationship with Gordon. Jeddah was initially intended to be Jeddah Gordon. That's funny. Daughter of Flash Gordon. Boy, they sure rotated things around, boy. They sure did. And then, of course, next up is Kashin. This is Kashin right here. Kashin is the son of Mandrick, adopted son of Mandrick, voiced by Adam Carr. Kashin is the orphan boy adopted by Mandrick and trained as his apprentice. His origins are revealed in the late season episode, The Adopted Son of Kashin, where it is shown that he was a young street orphan found by Mandrick, and after he was attacked by a bunch of group of kids, they felt pickpocket, using him as a distraction for using him to try to beat him up, and then Mandrick found him and decided he can give him a home. He was accompanied by external Zuffy, which is found in Mongor, initially found by Rick Gordon on planet Mongor. So Zuffy becomes his favorite pet. Then of course you got Dynac X, who's voiced by Diane Penshing. Dynac X is the central computer of the Defenders of the Earth headquarters, whose operating system is stated to contain psyche of Flash Gordon's wife, which is true. Though she is never addressed by name in the series, the comic adaptation of the first 2 episodes identifies slain Miss Gordon as Dale Arden. Diane Freshen is the only performer from the Filmation cartoon who reprised her role. That's wild, man. You know what I mean? There's no Dynac X thing, so don't worry, I'm gonna get around to showing y'all the DVDs. You know what I mean? But yo, that was Dynac X. Now let's just talk about Ming the Merciless, and then we're gonna move on to other stuff. Ming the Merciless is, of course, this guy right here, the merciless villain. He's the master villain of the Flash Gordon, the antagonist. This dude spared no expense trying to defeat see, that's him on the cover again on volume 2. Spared no expense trying to defeat the Defenders of the Earth, trying to conquer the Earth. But the Defenders of the Earth would always thwart his evil deeds. So, you know, it's not good to do bad things, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all terrible politicians like Macron from France, sorry track of trash. Donald Trump, another piece of trash leader. God, some of y'all are terrible human beings. You know what I mean? Bunch of colonizers, that's what they do best. Ming the Merciless, voiced by Ron Feinberg, a warlord or supervillain bent on exploiting the Earth. Literally, he wanted to exploit the Earth's resources. Who does that sound like? A bunch of colonists. Sounds like a bunch of European countries to me. You know, France with their useless self, Germany with their useless self, Italy with their useless self. Who else am I talking about here? Portugal, Spain, you know, colonizers just stealing stuff that doesn't belong to them and claiming to be selling democracy. We don't want your democracy. Keep your democracy. It's good. We don't want it. No, thank you very much. Ming the Merciless, voiced by Ron, like I said, this version of a more gross than traditional appearance to avoid racial stereotyping. A similar treatment would be used on Mandarin in the Iron Man animated series and Dr. No. So it's really basically they were trying to avoid any racist type of because Ming the Merciless was basically an Asian character, which really the character itself, man, to be honest with you, man, he's a villain just like any other villain, like Mamra. Back in that time, you had villains like Mamra. Oh my God, what's the one from Silverhawks? I cannot remember. Brave Star. You had Tex X. You had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You had Shredder. Excuse me. So even Darth Vader. You had a bunch of cool villains back then, man. So it was just another era of cool villains, another part of a group of villains. But Ming the Merciless, man, was merciless. That dude literally was merciless. He was always trying to in all that 3 characters with Steve Green's game. So Ming the Merciless actually had a son. So and he was given like these pointy ears, which was what people were complaining about, because I guess they were trying to. There were parts of this cartoon I till today feel as the most racist nonsense, racist connotation, like Ming the Merciless, making him look like an Asian man but dressed him in a different way. And you can tell the people that drew this had never in their damn life been to China or Japan or Korea or wherever in Asia. They just a bunch of idiot white guys who were in their corny places in Beverly Hills or where the hell they made this cartoon and decided, oh, this is what a Ming the Merciless would look like. Let's make him Asian. This is what an African American character would look like from Caribbean. Never been to Jamaica in their life. Let's draw him looking like a coon. It was just all kinds of nonsense they were doing. But you have to point out the fallacies, man. Marvel doesn't get a pass either because they're known for notoriously doing stupid stuff. You know what I mean? So, yo, Ming the Merciless, man. So, and also, too, Ming the Merciless had a son, Prince Khotan. Ming the Merciless' son, Princess Castra. Voiced Ming the Merciless' daughter. And then Octon, of course. He's the octopus-like artificial intelligence who is a robot. Garax was his main general as far as the robots. Mongor was the planet, a giant serpent pet of Ming the Merciless. And man, he was giant. Woo! Queen Hida was the ruler of Subterranean Netherworld. Skyband, coalition of raiders depicted in Phantom Comics. That's about it, man. You know what I mean? So, yo, that's all the characters right there. Now, next up is the animation. Hey, the best part. Man, before I go to showing you the cartoon, talk about a DVD collection set. Man, yo, this cartoon right here, yes, I told you, this is a pretty sick cartoon. Pretty sick. You know what I'm saying? Pretty sick. Look, that's the front side, volume 1, volume 2, the whole collection, the whole DVD set. Look at this right here. The back side, right? And look, I'm actually going to literally read you some of the episodes, volume 1 and volume 2. Man, I loved the cartoon. Oh my God, it made me want to bust out my old computer and watch some of these, man. Look at this. Look at who they got on there. Flash Gordon, Phantom, Magic, and Lothar. Look at where Lothar is on the back. I can't stand that, man. But yo, you flip it to the back, man. Defenders. This is the entire DVD set, y'all. Entire DVD set. So in each one of these is 4 discs. It's 2 discs each. And look, let me open it up for you. The cartoon itself was amazing. 65 episodes of awesomeness. Y'all just don't understand, man. This was the good life. I always say to myself, man, this cartoon, as ignorant as it was still a great cartoon. Look at this. Man, this is super cool, man. And look, let me see if I can show it to you. Look, this set, when you talk about DVD collection for real, this is what this is right here, y'all. Look. They used to show drawings of the characters in there, man. Look at that. Y'all see that? That's Phantom right there. So this one being the disc one with the Phantom, it's got disc art on it. Check this out. Watch this. And then the one with Flash Gordon. Look. Let me see if I can show you. Look at this. Right there. Flash Gordon. You know what I'm saying? Tell me that ain't super cool. You know what I mean? Tell me that ain't super cool. And then you got the one with Mandrake. Yeah, this cartoon, when I talk about a collection, it's a collection for real. Well, this one has Mandrake on there. It's funny. This one was the only one that had, you see, this is what I mean. You see Mandrake right there? Now that's Lothar right there. The ignorance. I'm telling you, these dudes, boy, cartoons in the 80s were a bunch of ignorant people. None of this stuff would fly today, boy. Hell no. And when you're a kid, you don't know that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that. So that's the one disc right there before I show you the cartoon. Then the second one, man, look at this. Check this out, man. This is disc 2. So you got Rick Gordon, you got Jeddah, you got LJ and Kashin. Funny how the color people only get to share a disc. Boy, cartoons back in the 80s were a bunch of racist. They think themselves are progressive, but you're not progressive. Hell no. So, this is Rick Gordon right here. Look, just like all the other ones, this is Rick Gordon. You see it? Don't worry, I'm gonna get to the cartoon and then we're gonna skip on to the next part of this podcast, man. But this cartoon is relatively simple to explain. That's why I'm having a lot of fun with it. Then you had this one right here. Look at that right there. You see that? That's Jeddah right there. So Jeddah's on this disc right here. Man, I guess they were trying to decide what they want the characters to look like. Good thing they didn't finalize it with this right here, boy. And then, of course, you got the last one, LJ and Kishin. So you got Kishin right there, you got LJ right there. Kishin, LJ. So, you know, then the disc looks like that. For wondering what the disc would look like, look. I'm telling you, man, this cartoon is quite incredible for its time. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate, you got to congratulate on it. You know what I mean? But yo, that's where it's at, man. But you know, it's good to be that right there. Now, let me flip it to the cartoon. Let's just get straight to it. I'm not even trying to, we got to get straight to it, man. Defenders of the Earth. So look, y'all, I'm about to flip it around. Check it out. This is the animated series right here. Let me make sure I back up so y'all can see it.
Defenders of the Earth, defenders. Out of the sky, his rockets ignite. Jets into battle, flying faster than light. Lord of the jungle, the hero who stalks. The beasts call him brother, the goes to war. Defenders of the Earth, defenders. Master of magic spells and illusion. Enemies crumble in fear and confusion. And drink, defenders of the Earth, defenders. His strength is a legend, his skills conquer all. Armed with his power, we never will fall. No fear, defenders of the Earth, defenders. Without new young heroes, proving their worth. For become eight, defending the Earth. Defenders of the Earth, defenders. Defenders of the Earth.
There you go, y'all. So look, that's Defenders of the Earth right there, man. As you can see, the cartoon is amazing. If you've never seen it, I strongly recommend you go get your watch on. Man, you have got to get your watch on. You know what I'm saying? You got to get your watch on. It's an amazing cartoon. It's one of the 1980s golden era cartoons, man. You got to get your watch on at least one time. So, yo, that's the cartoons right there, man. And as always, you know, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, man. You know, animation, if you've never seen it, please go watch this cartoon. It's one of the coolest things you've ever seen. One of the coolest you've ever seen. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You might not know about it, but if you give yourself a chance, you might be able to find something on YouTube. I highly doubt it, but if you can't, Amazon.com, man. I'm sure some of y'all have ways about going about how y'all watch y'all cartoons, so go ahead and get that done, man. So, yo, that's the animation right there. It's a cartoon. I'm not going to even waste my time talking about the comic books because it didn't even get a comic shine. But if you love toys, you can definitely visit, what you call this place, Amazon, and you can find action figures. They got all kinds of cool toys, man. But they do have cool toys. So, yo, that's our episode on Defenders of the Earth, man. Then also, too, most importantly, I always talk about I've made it a tradition in my podcast episode, getting your mind right. Getting your mind right to me is important, man. And that only happens to me because I've went through therapy. I'm now healed. I feel great. I'm in a different mind state of peace. It makes you see things differently, man. Y'all give me a second. So it makes you see things differently. Like, hey, man, you can overcome past anything, and that's really what it's about. Really, to push yourself to a point where you can achieve things, and that's what therapy does, man. Trauma, all that stuff. I strongly recommend if you have traumas, you have things you've dealt with in the past as a childhood, until you resolve those things, those issues are gonna linger into your adulthood. So please get some help. Get a professional, real professional. None of these commercialized therapy nonsense. None of the nonsense commercials you see on YouTube channel. All these various companies I can't stand. Find your real therapist, probably a personalized one that's of a local area, in your local area. That way you can get a one-on-one session and you can really reveal your issues that you're having, things that you're dealing with, because they don't have to be lifelong issues. They can be resolved. They can be remedied. So you can have a way of coping mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? So for me, one of the things that my therapist wanted me to get was a journal. So this is my journal. I've been writing this journal for the last 2 years. And y'all ain't gonna believe this, but this is actually day number 789 that I've written on journal days. You know what I'm saying? I'm even gonna write that I write this episode. Like right now, I'm writing this episode. I went live on YouTube and recorded Sanusi Vision podcast, Art and Life, episode number 219, Defenders of the Earth. So, you know, it's really, and look, I one thing I don't do anymore, like I used to write, when I'd write something in my journal, oh, what live stream number I did, then how many views I got. I don't care about that, man. I'm on here just to go on here because I enjoy it. That's part of what therapy helps you with, not putting significance to people showing up. Know why you're there. That's all that matters. And that's what's happened to me. So now I've got a journal. And if you love journals, you like taking notes about yourself, which is something my therapist encouraged me to do, I created a journal. Now I'm selling this journal on my website. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, y'all, because of my journal, it's going to allow me that this is going to be the first time I'm going to drop my first comic book coming out this year. And yes, tomorrow is it's a big day for y'all to remember to check it out. A big day. I'm going to be unveiling some things tomorrow. So make sure you check it out, man. So yo, that's getting your mind right, man. Please get the help you need. There are people out there that want to help you be the healthiest version of yourself. So please check them out. Check them out, please. I'm begging you, man. It's the best thing you can do for yourself, man. All right? So yo, that's getting your mind right there, man. Now, last but not least is my final thoughts. Today, guess what we got to talk about? Defenders of the Earth. One of the coolest cartoons from the 1980s. Even though I don't feel like it transitioned through the current times now, but for those who are nerd heads, true cartoon watchers, trust me, if I say Defenders of the Earth, they know what's up. They definitely know what's up. So you got to just be cognizant of, you know, that's what's up. You got to know. I'm telling you, y'all, they know what's up. These cats be knowing. They be on their game. You feel me? They be knowing, man. So, yo, Defenders of the Earth, you know, you got Lothar, you got Flash Gordon, you got Phantom, you got Mandrick, you got Rick, you got Kashin, you got LJ, you got Jeddah. You know what I'm saying? You got Ming the Merciless. It's a great cartoon. It's a great watch. If you've never watched it, please go watch it. In fact, get a DVD set. Go on Amazon.com right now. I bet you can find something. Or maybe Google. Maybe I think it's on Amazon Prime. I might have seen it there. Y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know, actually, y'all, now I'm curious. Let me have a look real quick. And then we're going to move on to some products, and then we're going to close shop, man. It's been an amazing episode. I don't know. Let me try Defenders of the Earth. Defenders. Yeah. I would wager to say it is there. Yeah, y'all, it's there. It's on Prime. Man, you can actually watch it, y'all. It's actually on Prime. Man, y'all better go watch that. Yep, y'all need to go watch that. It's on Prime. Yes, sir. It is on Prime. Yeah, it's on Prime. Y'all should go get your watch on, man. Y'all definitely should go get your watch on. It's on Prime. Yes, sir, it is. It's on Prime. So y'all make sure y'all check it out, man. But yo, that's Defenders of the Earth, man. Now, before I get up out of here, as always, I'm always talking about cool stuff. Today, I'm gonna focus on some accessories, man. Because now I just got cool accessories. Y'all give me a second. I gotta grab it, because I got cool accessories. I never talk about accessories, but damn it, today's a good day to talk about some accessories. So, ain't gonna talk about too many accessories. There's not too many accessories to talk about, but I am gonna talk about some accessories. All right, y'all. Look, let's talk about some accessories. First things off the docket, it's got to be the phone cases, y'all. Phone cases. And I got them in 3 different styles. iPhones, Samsung Galaxies, and Google Pixels. That's right, phone cases. Phone cases for sure. Gotta have the phone cases, man. That's for dang sure. You know what I'm saying? The phone cases for sure. And then, of course, you got iPhones, Samsung Galaxy, and Google Pixels. And, of course, different characters. So, Carjack for Assassins Classic, Carjack for Assassins version 5, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I've got in other characters, too. Blade, Iron Man, Batman, Black Panther, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, Voltron, Thundercats, Black Panther. You name it, I got it on the website. You know what I'm saying? Darth Vader. So visit the website, soundvision.com, and get your phone case on. I got different styles, man. Then, of course, laptop cases. Everybody's got a laptop. Who doesn't want to protect their laptop? You want to go visit soundvision.com and get your laptop on. That's right. Laptop cases, man. Laptop cases. That's right. Yours truly is doing these things, man. These kind of things that I'm doing, man. Just creating all kinds of cool stuff, man. You know what I mean? Laptop cases. Then, of course, you got water bottles. We're in the summer, so why not? Y'all see that? Laptop cases, man. You know what I mean? Laptop cases. So you got foam water bottles right here. Custom design water bottle. You can see the art. You can see the detail of the art. So this is what we're doing over here at Sound Vision, man. You definitely want to go get your water bottle. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I got dog hoodies. And I got one more. Well, you know what? While I'm at it, I got baseball caps now. Look at this. Baseball caps. That's right. Baseball caps. Fully custom designed baseball caps with art all over the place. These are definitely available on soundvision.com. You got to go get you your order on. Baseball caps, man. Then, of course, you got bucket hats. Let me put this hat back on because I was wearing it. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Bucket hats, man. Bucket hats. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Bucket hats. That's right. Bucket hats. Then you flip it the other way. Guess what you got? More art. So it's double-sided bucket hats with all the art, man. There's nothing I'm not double-siding. You know what I mean? So it's pretty cool like that, man. Then, of course, you got dog hoodies. If you love your dogs, there are a lot of dog fans out there, dog lovers. Guess what you want to get? One of our cool custom Batman dog hoodie. Batman dog hoodie right here. Look at this. Batman dog hoodie right there. Available on soundvision.com. That's right. Available on soundvision.com. Dog hoodies, man. You got to do these things, man. You got to do these things. I got to tell you, man. Dog hoodies are where it's at. You got to get you a dog hoodie. So, Batman dog hoodie right here. Get you a dog hoodie. Customized. You can get multiple characters. Carjack for Assassins, Blade, Iron Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, Voltron, Turtles, Mega Man, Thundercats. You name it, we got it. So, yo, dog hoodies, man. Then, of course, you got travel suitcases. If you travel like me, yeah, this was my suitcase when I was going to Africa. I used this on my trip to Nigeria, man. This suitcase was totally awesome. Look at this. You see that right there? Custom design 4-wheel spin. Guess what? It's got the lock arm too as well. And it's got its own personal lock combination deal right there. But the art is ridiculous. So I got all kinds of designs for these, everything I mentioned. The dog hoodies. Like I said, Carjack for Assassins, Blade, Iron Man, Batman, Wonder Woman, Voltron, Turtles, Mega Man. You name it, I got it. You know what I mean? So, yo, visit soundvision.com and get your order on, y'all. So, yo, that's our show for today, man. I want to thank you for listening, being part of this amazing episode. Today was about, guess what? Defenders of the Earth. You know what I'm saying? Defenders of the Earth, man. So, yo, thank y'all for listening, man. First, we got to thank our sponsor to get up out of here. Oh, can't forget now. Almost forgot. Look, the first official Carjacks for Assassins comic book will be coming out soon. But in order to understand that comic book, you got to get you one of these bio books right here. Available now on soundvision.com. The Carjack Assassins bio book tells you about all the characters, where they're from, height, weight, all that kind of good stuff. So you want to get you this bio book right here. Look at this. Carjack Assassins bio book. Available now on soundvision.com. You got to get one of these right here. Look at that right there. The Carjacks, the heroes. So you got Cajun, Escalade, Glocks, Rasputin, Sphinx, Sincere, Shepard, Diesel. Then you got those villainous villains led by Lord Sanusi, the Overlord. You know what I'm saying? The assassins right here. You got Sanusi in the center. You got Seth. You got Excursion. You got the Coyotes. You got Revo. You got Snipes. You got Yukon. You got Kanji. You got Artillery. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, Carjack Assassins, man, buy a book now available on soundvision.com. Now, this is version 3, but you get version 2 or version 1. Now, version 3 is what's on the website. So, if you know you want the other 2 versions, hey, just order same 3, order 3 and tell me you wanted version 1 and 2 as well. So, yo, definitely available, man. But like I said, tomorrow's a big day. Big day. I'm going to have a release date I'm gonna let y'all know what the release day is for the comic book, man. So y'all get ready to join me on that. Amazing. I'm gonna let y'all know what's going on with the what's going on with the release date. So I'm making that a very important gesture. I want to get that out the way, man. Got to get that out the way. So y'all, that's it right there. So look, y'all, I want to thank you for joining me, man. It's been an amazing episode of Sanusi Vision Podcast. So now look. So now thank y'all for listening, man. I really appreciate that. Today, Defenders of the Earth, an amazing episode. I love doing my podcast weekly. I'm getting on a consistency, building a repertoire. So usually these podcasts are on Thursdays, but I had an agenda on Thursdays, so I had to make it up today. But hey, here we are making it up. Consistency is the air dream. So y'all, thank y'all for listening, man. This podcast is produced, this Sanusi Vision Podcast, Art and Life, is produced and written by yours truly, Adewale Agboke. Written. So this Sanusi Vision Podcast, Art and Life, is produced, written, and directed by Adewale Agboke Jr. Please check out our website for all the cool stuff we got. Sanusivision.com. Phone cases, journals, caps, you name it, we got it on the website. Sneakers, of course. Come on now. You got to do the sneakers. Y'all know y'all got to do a sneaker. Come on now. So look, where we at? These are my personal Batas 3 low tops. You got to do a sneaker. So you got to visit Sanusivision.com and get your order on. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're doing with Sanusivision, man. Are you kidding me? That's where it's at, man. That's where it is at. So visit Sanusivision.com and get your order on. You know what I'm saying? We got all kinds of cool gear now, man. The gears are just, the stuff is just getting cooler. Like last week I showed y'all the cool tank top I did for a customer. I'm always creating something cool for somebody. So yo, this is what we're doing over here. Look out for all the feature designs. I'm working on customer stuff right now. When I get on this platform, I got work to do for them. And please subscribe to our channel. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the notification button to this YouTube channel. We're trying to grow, man. As of today, 1,151 subscribers. That is so many. That's beyond what number I was even looking for to reach. But the goal is to get to 1,200 first goal. But the ultimate goal by the end of the year is 2,000 subscribers. So I know y'all can help me get there. So please help me continue to grow. You know what I'm saying? Please check out our social media platforms. Definitely check them out. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram. You know what I'm saying? All social media. The main two that I love to use is YouTube and TikTok because I find it to be more friendly to what I do. You got to figure out which social media as an artist works best for you. I don't think all of them are the best ones for art. I don't think so anyway. I've tried them all and I find that TikTok and YouTube are definitely the best for me. YouTube is a harder platform because there's so many channels. But if you create something unique and contextual about what you do, because your content is unique, is there. TikTok, TikTok, I grow, but they try to shadow ban you, which is horrible. I mean, they suck, but hey, it is what it is. But I definitely still think TikTok and YouTube are the best platforms. And please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. You know what I'm saying? There's two things I always end with every time when I come on this podcast, man. One, your dreams can be no. Let me start all over again. One, there's no success in skipping steps. The back of the line is just as important as the front of the line. Be determined, not desperate. And then the second one, your dreams can be delayed but must never be extinguished. So wait your time while the universe delivers you the right hand. Be determined and not desperate. Y'all continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe. Believe in yourself, man. Don't never let nobody tell you what you can and can't accomplish, man. So like I say again, continue to aspire and achieve. Have a great week. Stay safe, y'all. Peace.